Hey, it's important to keep up on these things. I do want to discuss the Dallas Mavericks, who have an issue on their hands, people. They're winning. Okay, they're not the Warriors exactly, but they have won 4 of their last 7. They're not out of playoff contention here, and why is this a problem, you ask? Well, as the Mavericks stumbled through the first part of the season, the feeling in Dallas was that they would likely finish with a lottery pick, finally be in a position to draft a successor to Dirk Nowitzki. But they haven't had luck doing that in free agency. They've been trying for the past 5 years. Guys have not wanted to come there, so the draft could really be their shot. But now they're winning at least a little. Zach, I mean, look, what is the best approach here for the Mavericks? Because it's hard to, you don't want to waste Dirk's final year or two.
They're going to try and win. Like, more power to them. They got a veteran team. They have one of the 10 or 15 greatest players of all time. They're going to try to win. They're 5 games out in the loss column. They got to jump over a whole bunch of teams, probably no matter how hard they try, even though their schedule's about to get really easy after playing the toughest schedule in the league so far. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. They're still probably going to pick 6th, 7th, 8th, 5th, somewhere in there. That's just how it's going to be.
What do you think that they should do, Kareem?
And that's a hard thing because, the players want to win. Mm-hmm. They want to win every game. They want every time they step out on the court. And it's up to the people in management to try to deal themselves a better hand. So, it depends on what they want to do. And that's usually decided behind closed doors.
Yeah, if I'm a player, I'm not embracing trying to tank. Not at all. I mean, we want to win. We understand the circumstance. What happened in the beginning of the season. We wasn't healthy. We didn't have our whole team. Now we're coming to complete, and we're starting to win ball games, found out how good we can really be. So let's give it a shot. If you look at guys, the top 5 guys that are coming out of college for this year that are projected, I don't see nobody replacing Dirk Nowitzki to be a franchise player. I mean, these guys are good college players, but I don't see nobody coming in. If we was to tank and have a number 1 pick and be able to get these 5 guys to replace Dirk Nowitzki.
I don't know. Fultz posted an Instagram picture of himself the other day, like touching the scoreboard in his gym. That was pretty cool. I know that's not the NBA game. There is now more incentive, though, for teams to tank. The new CBA, because it will lock players in for even longer than it has in previous years. You're talking about teams that if you get that generational superstar, he's probably going to be with your franchise for at least a decade.
For sure. I mean, the NBA doesn't want to talk about that, but the new CBA absolutely incentivizes people. It's not a huge change, but it moves the needle a little bit towards, like, if I can get this guy and keep him for his whole career, like, I should probably try and get him. And this draft is pretty heavy on point guards, and Dallas is one of the only teams that doesn't really have a long-term answer there. So, we'll see what happens. The injury thing is the wild card, right? Like, There's no guarantee they stay healthy from now on, and that could tank their season.
See, I knew what the 2 players on that side of the table were going to say. I never want to lose. Never want to lose. This is because at the Garden last night, there were a few audible cheers for Utah forward Gordon Hayward during the introductions. Hey, maybe the Celtics faithful really like Hayward's hair. More likely, they're aware that Hayward is set to become a free agent this summer. He, of course, used to play for Boston coach Brad Stevens when the two were at Butler, and his name has been mentioned as a possible target for Boston GM Danny Ainge. This is not the first time Celtics fans have cheered for an opposing player who they would like to become one of their own. They gave an extremely friendly reception to Kevin Durant last year. But last night, well, it set Crowder off. He played angry, scoring 21 points on 6 of 8 shooting. Later, he said, quote, "I heard the cheering before the game. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was a sign of disrespect to me from the fans." And then, just in case somebody missed the message, he also took to Twitter. First came this tweet. "Home fans cheering for the opposing players now. Aw, man, shaking my head." I read that in capital letters. I thought that was pretty good there. When one fan wrote him back saying, "Hey, welcome to Boston, love it or leave it," he replied back, "I have no problem leaving it." He also retweeted another fan who told him to come back to Dallas, the team that drafted him. And he also started following on Twitter the Orlando Magic, a team that's tried to trade for him in the past. Now, by this morning, Crowder had erased a couple of those tweets, but he did leave up the original one. And look, Crowder has every right to be angry over anything he wants to be angry about. There is a grand tradition in the NBA of players taking very small slights, blowing them up to red alert levels to use them as motivation. And let's not forget that Crowder is someone who had to fight his way to being a starter in the first place, and if Hayward ever did come to Boston, it's Crowder's job he'd likely take. All that being said, once Crowder got to the Twitter stage of his evening, that's where it got to be too much for me. There is a difference between being motivated and throwing a temper tantrum, and that's exactly what it looked like. Let's not pretend the fans involved here insulted Crowder's mama. They want good players to come to their team, and if Crowder thinks he's better than anyone else the Celtics could get, his best recourse is just to keep showing that on the floor, not start attacking fans with his keyboard. So, guys, that's how I felt reading all of that stuff. Kareem, how did you feel?
I think that the players really should leave the fans alone for the most part, because you never know what you're going to get out there. Anybody can come and sit in the stands.
Can't win that battle.
Yeah, that's right. So you should have a little bit of wisdom there and just keep your distance and just say the things that you can safely deal with and handle if they become an issue.
Here's the deal, guys. Leave it to me, all right? Let's just be honest.
Okay.
There's some history with Hayward and Stevenson, right?
Yeah.
Crowder is not a better player than Hayward. So, with that being said, I will cheer for him too because I will want the better player
Were
to
you
come
at the
and play
Garden
for my
last
team.
night? Was that you?
No, it wasn't.
All right.
But Hayward is a better player than Crowder. There's history between him and the head coach, and they would cheer him on. Now, you didn't have this problem when they were cheering for KD, because obviously KD is better. Hayward is a better player too. I'm sorry. Don't take it to social media because you will never win that battle with the fans.
At the same time, though, if you were him, wouldn't you? These guys have egos. Like, it would have gotten to me a little bit, right? Like, it would have gotten to you a little bit. Well, you were too good for this whole discussion, but you know what I mean. If you were him, it would have gotten you a little bit.
I get that, but know when to fight your battles, though. This is not a battle. You can't win this battle, especially when you're taking it to social media to go at
Start
fans.
arguing with fans.
Yeah, you can't win that. Just listen. If that's what motivated you to win score 21 points, do that on a consistent basis. Then we won't be having this discussion.
Also, they could play together. It doesn't have to be like one or the other. They could play together. They're both good, versatile wings. They could be on the floor together for a lot of minutes. It doesn't have to be either or.
Yes.
The fans are always fantasizing though about how we can get a better team and
Right.
how we can do this, and they're always playing God with the manipulation of personnel.
Right.
So you just have to understand that and stay away from it.
I just have a problem because when KD came to town,
It was fine.
It was fine. And then Hayward comes to town, they cheer for him. You got a problem with that. That's what I have a problem
If you have a problem because you think fans are disloyal to you, don't start being disloyal to the franchise by starting following other teams on Twitter to make a point or saying, I should go back anyway. Probably not the best decision. And his coach, Brad Stevenson, did have a discussion with him this morning about it. So apparently he feels the same way. All right, let's talk about another team in the East. Guess who made the cover of Sports Illustrated this week? Yep, Giannis Antetokounmpo got the Lee Jenkins treatment, and there is a bunch of great quotes in the story. One that stuck out, though, was Giannis saying he could be in Milwaukee 20 years, and then also, quote, to make the next step, I've learned you need a little cockiness inside you. I can be a little cocky, he said. I've definitely become more serious. I have a franchise on my shoulders. Tracy, how far do you think Giannis can carry the Bucks? Because we know, obviously, he is their franchise player right now. He's talking about 20 years. Is this a franchise-defining player?
He is a franchise player, no doubt about that. This kid is next. I mean, he has unbelievable talent. He reminds me a little bit of KD and Westbrook a little bit, with his explosiveness, as Westbrook, and just his length and being able to maneuver like KD. Now, if he develops a jumper, he's going to be scary. But as great as he is at this point, being 22 years old, it doesn't matter. What he has behind him has to improve. I mean, he could be as good as he can and, being one of the top players in the league. If you don't have no dogs behind you, it's going to be very tough for him to take Milwaukee to that next level.
Shots fired at Jabari Parker.
No. Not Jabari. It takes more than just him and Jabari Parker. There's no shots. Jabari is definitely up and coming.
And he's been happy in Milwaukee up until then, coming from where he came from and all the different elements. And he talks about that a lot in the Sports Illustrated story, which is excellent. But Kareem, you were in Milwaukee, and after a while you felt like, you know what? I need to leave this place. And your situation was a little bit different. But
it was a lot different.
Different time and obviously different things going on with you. But it is comparable only in that it is a very particular market.
Yeah, it is. But, they're building, and the fans in Wisconsin are unbelievable. I mean, I've had experiences there with the fans. I'm still having experiences with Bucks fans because you keep running into them all over the place, and they tell me about games they watched back in the 70s. It's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting such a great reception there. And it's funny, Bucks fans have been sort of a little bit at his back. They're like, the national media doesn't talk about Giannis as much. We've talked about him every single day this week on the show. He's on the cover of SI now. He is getting his now due, I think, in the NBA, right?
You forget the media hates everything.
I know,
I will say this. We spent the entire summer offseason, who is the next generational superstar in the NBA? Is it Karl Anthony Towns? Is it Anthony Davis? Is it maybe Kristaps Porzingis? It's this guy.
Yes.
Right.
He is going to be the best player out of all those guys, and partly because, you know, if you're a big guy, you can speak to this in the modern game. It's like you need someone to pass you the ball. It's harder to get into the post today than it was when you played. Like Giannis doesn't need that. He's going to have the ball in his hands right from the start.
But you know, the thing I like about him is the way he finds people that are wide. They don't even know they're open. He finds them and gets them the ball. Lajwan's is his biggest fan. He's Nigerian, and Lajwan's his biggest fan. He said, "Kareem, you heard of Antetokounmpo?" But I got the chance to see him play, and he's everything that they want up here in Wisconsin. I wish him well.
I like that he's your personal scout. Only Kareem gets like you as a personal scout. Please help enlighten us.
We were talking about Bill Russell.
That's allowed. That's fine. We're going to let that go. This is time for our Make or Miss, though, with our all-star panel today. So make pop culture from Bill Russell to the Spurs Coyote. This is a downgrade if I ever heard one.
That's so
He was mocking Mariah Carey. New Year's Eve, Tracy.
I'm rolling with Mariah. They tried to sabotage my girl.
Right?
I'm rolling with Mariah.
Wow.
No, that was
Earpiece wasn't working. She was giving an interview. She said she couldn't hear.
The Spurs
They
Coyote
lied.
now to wear pants. Didn't I see this on your Twitter
the
feed?
Spurs Coyotes' New Year's resolution is to wear pants more now. So
not
I guess this was like the last hurrah of no pants.
No pants. Miss celebrations.
I don't like it.
Swaggy P hits a 3 against the Grizzlies and celebrates with multiple pelvic thrusts. I can't believe I'm asking one of the greatest players of all time, but Kareem, how do you feel about, is it too many pelvic thrusts? What are we talking here?
It kind of makes me wonder about what the Lakers are learning. Because, they're supposed to be trying to win. They're supposed to be trying to win games. And
What is this, Creed? This what y'all teaching these boys, man?
I don't know. Maybe he's gonna be a a male dancer.
Oh, we
I'm a
cannot
gigolo.
Stop showing the clip.
Big man times make. Nikola Jokic of the Nuggets had this over the head assist last night. Zach, special passing big man, right?
Yeah, he is.
The best player no one is talking about, Nikola Jokic. He's having one of the best passing seasons ever for a big man, ever.
Right?
He has great vision.
Arvidas Sabonis-like?
Oh, look at that. Big fella. I wish we got to see Arvidas, the real Arvidas.
Right.
The young version, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Not bad. Make teamwork. Clark Atlanta University's Derek Harper may have pulled off the dunk of the year last night, Tracy.
That's
Tom Chambers on Mark Jackson.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, and I like that better than Tom Chambers because he's shorter, and he intentionally put his foot in his chest.
There you go.
And that's my old coach say I was going to be out of the league in 3 years. Darryl Walker on the sideline right there.
Oh, what are you, Michael Jordan at the Hall of Fame now?
Say I was going to be out of the league in 3 years.
This guy screwed me.
Wow.
Thank
Hey,
you
I like
for
it.
I'm
everyone
a drink to
joining
that.
us today. We will see you back tomorrow. Have a lovely day, everyone. Enjoy the basketball.
I see you.